And we are live coming up next in this game here at All-Star Southern Skate Showdown. We have Jewish Roller Derby facing off against Indigenous Rising. I am Huckleberry Jen, and I am joined here with
Squirrellock Holmes.
Squirrel, you want to introduce Jewish Roller Derby?
Absolutely. So for Jewish today, we have 018 days. We have 1212 Dedeu. We have 14 Sonnet Boom. We have 167 Judith Smackabee. We have 22 Kevich. We have 23 Luckneck Mustard. We have 27 Mazel Tov. We have 350 Mushugana. 44 Lunatic Lovegood. 50 Coltrane. 613 Borschbet Bruiser. We have 62 Spider Wham. 69 Labia Minora. 6713 Shrindler's Fist. 75 Singular Dehem. 88 Cosmos, 89 Labio Fantastico, and 999 Oive. And bringing to the coach bench, we have Chaos, Olive, and Stinger. In addition to that, we also have our Indigenous Rising team coming to the ring. And so I'll go ahead and sting it back over to you so you can go ahead and let us know who it is, who's coming to the track today, Huck, for Indigenous.
All right, for Indigenous Rising, who will be wearing their beautiful teal jerseys today, we have Smackajawea, number 10100 Beast Mode, 120 Hawaiian Blaze, 1217 Dream Crusher, 142 Puppet Master, 1492 Mush It Real Good, number 17 Balaz, number 22 Scara to Death, number 25 Ruthless, number 28 Ramby Rhino, number 35 Buzzkill, 420 Ashtray, 44 Tornado Alley, number 47 Nikita, number 57 Skates in Circles, number 614 Karma, number 654 Goose, and number 757 Small Fry. Indigenous Rising is coached by Jess Gosen, Smack Mamba, and Mr. Fry. And then our wonderful officials who will be managing our gameplay today, we have Eggs, Geoknitter, Domination, Cinnamon, Ivana Rage, Sadie Masochist, Identity Crisis, Psylocke, Nick Tater, Laddie, Sydney Vicious, Piratical, Nopak Shakur, Arson Crafts, I just got that one, Bacon the Question, Zero Factorial, and Anus.
Yes, and also I want to give a shout out to our royal sponsors, 187 Killer Pads, 888, Poster Giant, and Louisiana Cage Bayou. Thank you so much for your sponsorship and making sure this tournament's available for us this weekend.
Looks like we're going to get started here in just a few moments.
Yes.
Hopefully we won't see anybody in that Hampton Inn special. I'm going to call it a specialty box right now because we don't say the other word until one happens or announcer curse gets us. We did notice in some earlier games, people seem to think the continental breakfast was still going on over there.
I just hope they don't steal towels. That's just something that we frown upon. We want to make sure we leave our areas the way that we brought ourselves into them specifically. But more importantly, we've already had 10 games of roller derby. So it has been a great, almost just not even a day and a half so far. And we have so much more to go. We've got a contest in sight. So if you're streaming live, pay attention. We got the Mardi Gras ball going later on. That's going to be our final event for today. There's going to be a costume contest. If you're not here, you need to be here next year. This is a great tournament to be to. So much to do. And I guess we're about to get the first jam underway.
Perfect. Looks like we have teams lining up here. So that's going to be Jewish Roller Derby in the dark blue and Team Indigenous Rising in the teal. On the line here for Indigenous Rising, we have Mush It Real Good facing off against Anu for Jewish Roller Derby. See some whistles going, and we are going to see the first penalty of the game assessed, making this a power jam for Indigenous Rising. Lead jammer going to Mush It Real Good. Oh, it does look like that penalty was rescinded.
And look at that dash out as Jewish comes running out of the pack. Deu comes out, and I thought they were going to pass the star, but they definitely kept on to it. A good initial pass making paint. Both jammers into the pack. Looks like both of them grabbed 4 points before it was called off.
Thank you.
And that was Daeu definitely getting the jam called off within 2 minutes, or before the 2 minutes. Score right now is 4-4, and that wraps up our first jam for our 11th game underway of the All-Stars tournament.
And that 5 seconds means we're about to see some more roller derby here. It does look like we have a slight pack advantage, or more than a slight pack advantage here for Jewish Roller Derby as Sonnet Boom is out picking up lead.
And that was a boom as they took off the jam line, went right through the middle of the pack. Following right behind them is Goose. Loosey Goosey coming through the middle of the pack as well with a 360, and both jammers now have the initial pass.
Sonic Boom out, going ahead, picking up those 4 points and calling off that jam, holding Indigenous Rising scoreless, bringing our score to 12 Jewish Roller Derby for Indigenous Rising.
Absolutely. Strategy is the key today for every team that gets on the track. It's about getting those points and calling it off unless you know you have the other jammer tied up in the pack.
Apologies, I misspoke. It is going to be 8 for Jewish Roller Derby. I thought they had 4 more coming out there. Still in a pack advantage situation here for Jewish Roller Derby. 2-2 setup here. Beautiful close there by Jewish Roller Derby, holding Nikita for Indigenous Rising at the back of the pack, while Days up at the front. Oh, nice hit out there. Teamwork by Scara to Death, and I can't quite see that other blocker's number. Letting the Team Indigenous jammer, or excuse me, Jewish Roller Derby jammer being recycled back to the pack. However, they are back up front, out and picking up lead jammer.
Days was anything but dazed and confused as they finally made their way through the pack, grabbing the lead jam for Jewish on this one. And let me tell you, Nakia wasn't very far behind them. Both jammers now exiting the pack. They are now eligible to earn points. The pack is speeding up. It's a really good strategy as Indigenous Rising is making it hard for that jammer to get up in front of them before they're forced to call it off. Let's see how many points they earned. It looks like 1 point was earned on that round, which is great. Great attempt. Again, real good track awareness from the other team, Indigenous Rising, knowing they needed to speed that up to avoid that jammer to get back in there and get any points. Also, want to give a shout out to Kaywood and Razio Bakery, Hampton Inn and Suites, and Currency Bank and Rydell. They are our captain sponsors. Thank you so much.
Looks like we have all blockers on the track here as we move in. Cosmo wearing the star for Jewish Roller Derby. Karma for Indigenous Rising. Both jammers here looking for some space. Cosmo being recycled back just as Karma picks up lead jammer for Indigenous Rising.
Yes, both jammers are coming out of the pack at a very high pace.
I do not envy the referees this game with the 2 shades of blue for the calling of penalties. As an announcer, I was mistaking Jewish Roller Derby skaters for Indigenous Rising and vice versa. Some of the skaters here have a variety of blue, so I'm glad that the officials are a lot closer than we are. They definitely have a better line of sight here. That last jam at Jewish Roller Derby was able to pick up 1 point. Indigenous Rising picking up 4, closing slowly that gap between these 2 teams as we go into jam number 5.
Yes, and we have that Dayu. I keep mispronouncing it.
Dainu.
Yes, and Mush It Real Good coming off the jam line. Mush It Real Good is being caught up in the pack.
This is the second time we've actually seen this pairing between these 2 jammers, and it does look like it's going to be the same result with Dainu out picking up lead jammer for Jewish Roller Derby as Indigenous Rising uses their pivot to the box for a forearm.
Yes, and that box is at Holiday Inn and Suites.
Quick little jam there. He's calling it off to hold it. Oh, no, there were 3 points picked up there. There we go. A little delay on that scoreboard.
It wasn't much, but every point counts here at this tournament. I mean, it is going to level up. All right, so we have the next jam underway. Sonnet Boom and Goose coming off the jam line. It does look like Sonnet was recycled back past the jam line to begin again. Meanwhile, Goose is in the thick of it, going to the inside attempt and is successful with that pass, making it out of the pack, grabbing lead jammer for this jam. So Loosey Goosey is on the track and eligible to earn points. Meanwhile, we have Sonnet Boom. They're still trying to make it through the pack, and it is called off. And before the 2 minutes called, we do show it looks like Indigenous did come on the board with 1 point. Both teams actually scored now is 14-9.
Slow-moving roller derby here, but great offense and defense that we're seeing from both teams, keeping that score close. Even though it's only jam 6, we're seeing just little points here and there, no big jams running. Relatively clean game overall. We have had a couple penalties, but definitely nobody in trouble. As we're starting off here, we are going to have Nikita and Mazel Tov facing off on the jammer lines.
Yes, those blockers are doing fantastic. Tornado Alley's out there.
Nikita picking up lead jammer for Indigenous Rising as Mazel Tov still looking for some space here as they come into turn 2. We're going to see a cover off and pass. Successful pass to the pivot from Jewish Roller Derby. That is Schindler's Fist.
I love the play on words there for that name.
I'm just waiting for them to come into the pack, and I imagine they're going to be a hard hitter. That jam's going to get called off as Indigenous Rising picks up 4 points. 5 points, that's a tie game as we're going into jam number 7.
Yes. All right, we're going to begin this jam with all players on the track, which means checkout was successful at the Hampton Inn and Suites.
No late fees there today.
Not at all.
And that whistle means here we go with Cosmo and Karma facing off against each other. Also a jammer pairing that we have seen just as Cosmo gets out picking up lead jammer for Jewish Roller Derby.
Yes.
Karma still looking for some space here with a few more to beat at the top of turn 2. Just as Cosmo comes in looking for points, throwing their hips into that tripod wall. Excellent move to ensure that you get your points, just in case you have to call it off where you break all the way through.
And I don't know if you saw that hit with Fuzzkill right there. Fuzzkill legitimately just knocked the jammer right off the track. I mean,
perfect timing.
It really was well done, well done.
And now that move where the jammer threw their hips in, that did allow them to preserve a single point, putting Jewish Roller Derby back in the lead.
I mean, you just got to make sure that jam ref sees you do it. Those hips are all we need to have it pass. So throwing it is definitely an excellent strategy. And it gave them the lead with that 1 point with a 15-14 score.
All right, on the track, and I believe wearing the start for the first time for Jewish Roller Derby is Singular Mayhem facing off against Mush It Real Good from Indigenous Rising.
Yes, it does look like Mush It Real Good had the advantage. Getting that pack past the pivot line gave them the ability to go ahead and get past them. They did claim lead on this one. Singular They Them is definitely having a little bit harder time trying to get past that pivot line as Indigenous Rising is making sure that wall is solid. We are going to see the pivot, though, for Jewish run to our Hampton Inn and Suite penalty box for this. Wasn't sure what the call was, but they are going to spend at least 30 seconds over there. Wow. That means all the blockers are going to be looking right at Mush It Real Good to try to stop that. Now, with Mush It Real Good making a pass, grabbing 4 points, they now have the lead with a 17-15 score.
Really great awareness there from Mush It Real Good as they were ran back by Jewish Roller Derby blockers. However, they paid attention exactly to whose hips they had passed before they were knocked out, meaning they hopped in front of 2 of the blockers and kept going because they'd already legally passed them.
Yes. Oy vey taking a hit and getting right back up. Excellent job.
Not easy to do on this floor either. You all at home can't quite see this, but this is a concrete floor. It's not quite polished, but it's very grippy. So what we're seeing is when skaters go down, it's catching your pads, it's catching your wheels, and it's holding you there. So to be able to bounce right back up like that, it's amazing. Mush It Real Good picking up another 4 points there and making so far a 15-point jam as she comes back around, looking to see if she can pick up some more. We do see a successful exit from the pack from Singular They Hem. Now eligible to score points as well. However, Mush It decided to go ahead and call that one off.
I mean, almost 20 points. That's very impressive. We've seen these kind of jams all morning long so far with these. We have the jammers, we have the skills, we have the athleticism here. You're going to see jams like this when walls aren't prepared for what they're able to get out there and do. It's very impressive.
Also, just to echo our in-house announcers, that is the lead change that we talked about in the middle of the jam, but it is officially a lead change now.
That
nice
was a lead leap.
out.
That's what we call a lead leap. Leap, 100% leap. And a leap is exactly what Days did right there. Jumping onto the inside, found an opening, and took advantage of that, grabbing the lead for Jewish, so they now have an advantage to try to answer back to this 17-point deficit.
However, Goose is now out and eligible to score points. And that's going to make Days call that right off there. Still picking up 3 points for Jewish roller derby, however.
Okay. All right, we're about to get the 11th jam underway. JDR is going to bring to the line a very impactful play by
I'm going to get this right, and I apologize in advance because I understand this is a very important Passover line for Jewish roller derby, but it's Dai A. New wearing the star, picking up lead jammer for Jewish roller derby. Picking up 2 points, it looks like, as Indigenous Rising's jammer was also able to get out pretty quickly there. Excellent work by both teams in that last jam.
Absolutely. Great strategy there.
You may not be able to see it well at home, and as the announcers for the broadcast, we're watching the game on a screen, so we make sure we get the real time to you. But Dai Anu is very tall. I just happened to look over on the track, and I was like, oh my goodness.
It's impressive. So JRD is going to come off the jam line with Sonic Boom. Karma's going to come off the line for an Indigenous Rising. Both jammers are thick in the pack, but Karma makes the advantage there, grabs the lead jam for this one. Sonic Boom is just waiting for that moment to take off. Getting help from the pivot. They're going to go to the inside. They're pushed off the track, but re-enter very quickly. Meanwhile, an apex attempt is made by Karma. They are pushed off the track by number 69, Leba Menorah. Love the name. Play off that wonderful JRD blocking there. Getting them back on the track. They're still trying to get them off, which is excellent. They're keeping that track awareness. Wonderfully done right now.
Both jammers really caught up in a scrum here of defensive line work from both these teams. Karma able to sneak out there as they came out of turn 4. Looks like she'll be picking up 4 more points for Indigenous roller derby.
Yes, I saw Sonic Boom take a leap out of the pack. They landed on those 187s and got right back up. And, you know, that is probably how everyone's still walking after these games, is because of those 187 pads. Those things are amazing in keeping our knees protected.
Like falling on clouds. It's going to be another 4 points on the scoreboard for Indigenous Rising and Karma. However, Indigenous Rising will be losing a blocker to the box for a direction of gameplay, giving a pack advantage here for Jewish roller derby. And we will see a star pass to Coltrane.
Yes, they're checking out that Hampton Inn and Suites penalty box, trying to see if there's a continental breakfast, I'm assuming, because now we have a power jam, as Coltrane is now, with the star pass, the jammer for our JRD team. So they have a chance to come back a little bit.
A true pivot's worst nightmare. I say that as a pivot.
Yes.
I see that, and it happens every time. You know, you take the pass, and then it's going to be a 2-minute jam. However, there's only about 10 seconds left in this jam, so I think we're doing okay.
Absolutely. But Indigenous Rising, their blockers were very aware. Look at the recycle back. They're trying to go back as far as possible, and they were successful because they got the jammer off the track. And with that, we're going to wrap up that 12th jam, and we're going to take a timeout. And with that timeout, we're going to go ahead and give a shout-out to Crash Course. Crash Course helps roller derby athletes increase strength, conquer self-doubt, and create habits of high performance to become all-stars, MVPs on the track and in life. We want to take your 2-minute jam and make it feel easy. Visit ChristyCrash.com and learn more. Life is a contact sport. Win.
Speaking of contact, we do have that skater up and skating of their own power after that last hit at the end of that last jam. If I had to hazard a guess, because of how hard this floor is, it seems like the wind just got knocked out of them. Everything seems great, and we love to see that. Huge shout out to our medics here in the building, making sure everyone is safe. Even when we just take a little bonk, they still pull us aside and make sure that we are okay.
Absolutely. And I want to give a shout out to Poster Giant. From wild posting and guerrilla marketing and digital campaigns, Poster Giant makes your message stand out. If you need to get your word out on your next big event, visit postergiant.net today and let them take your promotions to the next level. And as we were talking about, those 187 killer pads, they're often imitated but never duplicated, and they are used throughout the week. And we even have vendors here on site selling it. And I love that about this tournament, because these skaters are playing on a level that they're breaking things out here.
I watched at least 2 skate malfunctions yesterday, and so having vendors in the building for your tournament just unsolicited advice for anyone hosting a tournament, makes a huge difference when pieces of gear go awry. And like what we're seeing here again with that grippy floor, it's grabbing pads. So folks are probably going to take great use of that.
Yes, and our NSOs have been working time and a half because even in between games, they're retaping these tracks, they're sweeping this off. We're doing everything to make this as safe as possible. But you know what? We're just here to play derby, and then whatever happens, I guess. And we're doing a great job. But the facility's been wonderful. The atmosphere has been great, and we're about to get started again. 13th jam on our first half.
Yeah, so I looked away for a second and the score changed on us. However, Indigenous Rising still is in the lead with 43 points to Jewish Roller Derby's 22. Quick power jam opportunity here for Jewish Roller Derby as Cosmo's on the track at the top, able to pick up lead just as Karma comes back from the penalty box for Indigenous Rising, working her way through the top of the pack here, also out and now eligible to score.
Yes, both jammers are out. It looks like Cosmos is going to be the first one to get back into the pack, running right into the four wall. They get back up. Cosmos was pushed out, forced to call it off. Great hustle by Indigenous Rising getting back to that pack and forcing that call off. You don't want to get that jammer back on the track and give them any more time than they have.
Absolutely, and a great check-in from that jammer to look back and see exactly how much time. Is it worth it to run back? Should I just call it now? You know what? I'll take my 2 points and I'll call it here. That's going to bring Jewish Roller Derby to 24 points and Indigenous Rising being held scoreless in the last jam, but still in the lead with 43 points.
Yes.
On the line and lead jammer is Days from Jewish Roller Derby with Goose from Indigenous Rising.
I mean, I don't think Skate and Circles or anyone else on Indigenous Rising saw Days come off the jam line as they sprinted to the inside.
However, we are going to see Goose report to the box for a back block. And Jewish Roller Derby going ahead and calling it off, picking up their 4 points, preserving a power start here. Now, you always have two choices when you're in a power jam situation, right? Run it out or wait. This almost guarantees, I don't want to jinx anything or put favors on anyone.
They've got the best jammer on the jam line right now.
They
for this advantage, this right here is what strategy is. This is why we love our bench coaches, right? Our bench coaches are looking at who's on the bench, who's not playing this last jam when we get this power start, and they put in what could be the MVP of the game right here.
Picking up lead jammer.
Yes.
Just shaking off that hit like it was nothing.
This is 30 seconds of, you know what, we're going to come back. We're going to show you JRD style roller derby, and you're not going to have this deficit. Look at this, going to the outside, moving that entire pack.
Beautiful pack work here from Indigenous Roller Derby. However, pack still being maintained at the top as they are slowly working through for Dai Anu.
Yes.
Able to get out, shutting down that power jam. Goose is out and on the loose.
We are about to see it. We've got both jammers back on the track now. We've got blockers. They're having to be aware of what's coming in front and behind them as both jammers are now actively engaged into the pack.
Beautiful spin there from Goose at the top of turn 3. A little 360 to get through that pack and force the call off.
Yes.
And an incredible bit of information that we just received for our producer. This is Dai's second year skating.
Dai's second year? I mean, I'm dying right now. I'm dying. I'm literally dying.
I am fangirling so hard right now.
If I was able to get on skates and do this, then I would probably take up roller derby. I wouldn't be in the announcer. I wouldn't be doing it if I could do that.
I'm a double dipper, but my second year skating doesn't look anything like that.
I love it. So Mazel Tov is going to come off with Nikita. I think I said that right. Correct this time. I apologize about before, but yes, these jammers, I don't know where I don't know what they're drinking on the sidelines. This water must come from a glacier because they're coming back hydrated, well energized, and look at that. A 360 out of the pack, grabbing lead jam. Beautiful spin there around the hips of Schindler's Fist at the top of the pack to pick up that lead. Mazel Tov still looking for some. They are out and picking and forcing that call off. However, Indigenous Rising was able to pick up 4 points in that jam, still preserving their lead and stretching it just a little bit further. Yeah, so at one point we were almost at a 20-point deficit. Now we're at a 15-point game. And as you see, we've had jammers come in here and make 15 points in 2 minutes. So really, this is anyone's jam. We have a little over a minute left in our first half. So as you're watching, viewers, just know this is the moment where we're about to go into halftime and really know who's going to come back prepared for that second half and have to make a comeback.
And here we go. We are off with Days from Jewish Roller Derby facing off against Karma from Indigenous Rising. Both skaters still stuck in the pack, but Days just right there at the front, able to pick up lead jammer for Jewish Roller Derby. Karma not too far behind, 1 to beat coming out of turn 2, and they are out eligible to score. We're going to see a race for points.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Look at Days makes an attempt, very successful to the inside, but Indigenous Rising was real quick to get back in front. That was good. They called it off, forcing it. We're going to have one more jam. We had 38 seconds at the whistle call, so we're going to be at one more at least.
One more at least, and we're going to see a pack advantage here for Jewish Roller Derby, as at the end of that jam, one of the blockers from Indigenous Rising went down, and when they went down, their skate just caught, I believe it was Days' skate, and so they picked up the low block. So this is an excellent last jam for Jewish Roller Derby to have in this half to try and make up some of those few more points going into the second half.
Yes, I mean, all they need is 14 and counting, so let's see if we can make it happen. Cosmos is going to come off the drum line, and that's what we want to see right here. Jewish Roller Derby, they brought the jammer on the line. They got out of the pack quick. They got lead jam, and they're forcing a star pass right here. They're trying to make a star pass. They're not successful with it, though.
Stash there, and I'll be real, I wouldn't have want that star to go to, I think that's Scara out there. I mean, I can't see her.
Mushed it real good, mushed it back in the hand and said, I'm going to continue this path myself, and made the initial pass for Indigenous Rising. Meanwhile, Cosmos grabs a couple points, calls it off. I don't think Indigenous Rising had any points. And they claim too. So we have a 3-2 claim right at the very end. 36-49 is our score going into halftime. Thank you, viewers out there. We're going to be coming back with some more roller derby, right, Hook?
Absolutely. We'll be back just shortly, and we'll have some stats for you when we come back.
Hi folks, Tui Lion here, and I'm here to ask you if your helmet is cooked. Whether you're on the derby track or at the skate park, your helmet has one job: to protect you. So let's check out your helmet together and find out if it's still doing its job. Look for the following signs to determine if the EPS foam in your helmet has deteriorated. 1. Physical cracks or deformations. 2. Soft spots. 3. Discoloration. 4. Separation from the shell. 5. Age. Helmets should be replaced every 3 years depending upon usage, even if they appear to be in good condition. 6. Unusual odors. Let's move on to the outer shell and consider your previous impacts. If the helmet has been involved in a significant impact, the EPS foam could be compromised even if no visible damage is apparent. If the strap adjusters, clip, or straps are compromised, your helmet placement might be compromised if you take a fall. Last but not least, if your helmet doesn't fit you properly, it's not going to do its job when you need it most. Your helmet should sit about 1 finger width above your eyebrows and stay put when you're moving around or shaking your head. Visit 888.com to find out about our cutting-edge helmet technology and designs. The most certifications, the latest technology, the best fit. We've got you covered.
And we are back, right, Huck?
Yeah, coming in for the second half for Jewish Roller Derby, facing off Indigenous Rising at day 2 here of Y'all-Star Southern Skate Showdown. A great game so far, very close. Very few penalties on each side. I think there's only one for Jewish Roller Derby and only like 3 or 4 for Indigenous Rising, but spread across the board. Nobody in particular in any penalty trouble. And we've had some great jams going on here. I believe for Jewish Roller Derby, our highest scoring jammer so far is Dai Anu.
I think it might be Mush It Real Good.
Oh, I was
Mush It Real Good's
so
been
incorrect.
Mush
It Real Good did great. They've scored 25 points so far this game. And then Mush also has the highest scoring jam of the game overall with 19 points. For Indigenous Rising, the highest scoring point jam we have seen has been from Karma. She has picked up 14 points in a single jam for Indigenous Rising.
Yes. And I love that when we came back from the break, you got to see what the NSOs were doing. You know, they were taping that track and sweeping it because we are back here and we've been busy. That was the quickest 5 minutes. I mean, we are producing something out here, and in doing so, we're going to get this next jam underway.
Wearing the star here for Jewish Roller Derby, we have Dai Anu facing off against Goose from Indigenous Rising, and it's going to be Goose with that lead jammer for Indigenous Rising. They want to preserve that lead status for this game. Oh, big hit there on 22. That's going to be
Kevich. Took that hit.
They took that hit like a champ. However, oh no, we are going to see a forearm penalty being assessed here to Goose. Oh, and we missed Dai Anu going to the box, so we're seeing a jammer swap.
All right, and we do have both jammers on the track right now. Goose goes through, grabs 4 points for Indigenous Rising. It looks like Dai's back on the track, makes an inside pass, makes the initial pass now for Jewish Roller Derby. Both jammers now eligible to make points. Goose is going to the outside, and blockers are trying to get him off the track. Goose is signaling to call it off. Unfortunately, they're going to be playing this entire jam.
Big hit there, and we are going to see a low block assessed to Dai Anu as they head to the box for a low block for that pilot that happened as we went into turn 3.
So we are now at a power jam right now. Goose is loose, and let's see what happens. If we're gonna fly right into that pack grab 4, if we're gonna get tied up with a little bit of low winds.
Nice little hip flip there and some running. However, they did not go out of bounds as Goose is up, picking up 4 more points there for Indigenous Rising.
I'm absolutely in love with this name. We have a Goose at home, and I mean, if this is any preface of what we're going to see by this jamming ability, I'm excited. Goose is making another lap. Let's bring it up to 16. We're going to end that jam on a high note. 16-0, Indigenous Rising comes up with a 65-37. Oh, Jewish Roller Derby did get 1 point. Great way to end the first jam of our second half.
Absolutely. Indigenous Rising really stretching out this point zone. Really keeping that lead, holding it down. Hopefully they're able to maintain that going throughout the rest of the second half as we hear the 5 seconds in the air. Looks like that's going to be Mazel Tov for Jewish Roller Derby facing off of Nikita for Indigenous Rising.
Yes, that's going to be a good run back past the jam line. Wonderful bridge job there.
Small pack advantage, it looks like, for Indigenous Rising here as we have a Jewish Roller Derby blocker in the box. And that is going to be Nikita out with lead jammer.
All right, I guess Hampton Inn and Suites is going to be doing a special in the second half with these deals getting them over to the penalty box. But with that, you know...
Beautiful star pass there by Mazel Tov, able to get out of the pack.
Yes, Mazel Tov made the initial pass, is able to re-engage, but that jam is going to be called off before an opportunity presents itself. And so that's going to wrap up our second jam so far of our second half with only 1 point that time. So we're at 66-37. Let's give a shout out to again, our royal sponsors, 187 Killer Pads, AAA, Poster Giant, Louisiana Cajun Bayou. Great job. Thank you so much for making these events and many more like this possible. Also, while we wait to start, let's give a shout out to Kay Wood and Radezo Baker, Hampton Inn and Suites and Currency Bake, as well as Rydell, as they are showing our captain sponsors.
On the line, wearing the star for the first time for Indigenous Rising is Buzzkill, as they are still fighting their way through the pack just as Days for Jewish Roller Derby picks up lead jammer status. However, Fuzz is quick on their heels.
I'm assuming that the Days comes because that's what they leave the blockers in the current state of when they go through the pack.
Every time she has been on the track so far, the blockers have, it's dazed and confused.
I mean, I literally feel dazed because I feel that by the time we say they're off the jam, before I can even say jam line, they are completely, they're well past it. They're almost grabbing 4 points. They're that quick. So, great attempt by Days there for Jewish Roller Derby. They're going to get 1 point on the board. We're going to get our 4th jam underway in just a couple seconds, but never mind. I spoke too soon. We're going to do a timeout. So with that timeout, let's go ahead and give a shout out to Crash Course. If you're ready to make your 2-minute jam feel easy and you're tired of second guessing your training routine and you want to feel more confident when you step on the track, you need to check out Crash Course. They turn skaters into MVPs. If you start Crash Course today, in 4 weeks you'll be less tired by the end of your 2-minute jam. But in 8 weeks, your footwork will be faster on the line that you start with. And then within 12 weeks, guess what? You're going to be the person we want to see on the screen. You're going to be the person that I want to announce for because you're going to be on that track because Crash Course helps you out. They believe life is a contact sport, so you better win.
And speaking of, if you are just getting into that Chrissy Crash Course for the first time and you need to pick up your roller skates, step into the action with Rydell Roller Skates, where passion meets performance, trusted by skaters for generations. Rydell combines classic craftsmanship with cutting-edge design. Discover your perfect pair now at roller.rydellskates.com. Rydell, built for derby, made for you.
Also, don't forget, at Currency Bank, we create meaningful partnerships with our clients, and they build a strong personal relationship. Their core values with the right combination of the latest proven technology and personalized service. It's not just for good business, it's who they are. So make sure you check out Currency Bank. And then in case you didn't know, we do have some crowd sponsors in the house. This is definitely something that if you're interested in, you're a viewer, you want to get your name shouted out here in one of our streams, just know that people like Roll On, Allstate Addy Agency, Nearby Notary, Creative Counseling and Wellness LLC, and Raising Cane's, got to give out some Raising Cane's shout out as our sponsors here for our crowd sponsors. I see it's an official timeout, Huck, but I'll be honest with you.
I'm trying to look and see if it was an official review or official timeout because I see a referee talking both to the NSOs and now talking over at the Indigenous Rising bench here. It may have just been a point of clarification, either looking for points or penalty counts or something of that nature, but we do have a rolling whistle, which means we should be moving shortly. We do see refs returning to their positions on the track, meaning we should be starting up again here shortly.
Yes.
There goes the 5 seconds into the air.
Everyone's getting into place. All right, we have our 4th jam underway.
We have Cosmo for Jewish Roller Derby facing off Goose for Indigenous Rising. Both jammers working through some beautiful one-on-one blocking here by number 613 for Jewish Roller Derby, keeping Goose at bay, almost by themselves. And I also see Ashtray is now joined the fray there with Smackajawea holding Goose locked down, and that's still not to discount the amazing blocking we're seeing by Jewish Roller Derby here at the top of the pack going into turn 2.
I mean, Coltrane is doing a great job trying to be aware. Look at the Coltrane doing a great job bridging, being situationally aware to make sure they're giving their blockers every opportunity to stop Goose. But Goose wants to be loose. I'm telling you, that is
Goose
the theme.
is loose, picking up lead jammer, really stretching out that pack into turn 3 and 4 with that last one to beat. They were able to scoot themselves around.
Yes, and I mean, Cosmos is still in the Cosmos right now. We do have a Jewish Roller Derby player coming out of the penalty box shortly, so they're going to have a little bit more reinforcements, try to help block Goose. But Cosmos is not giving up as they're knocked onto the outside of the track. It looks like that was done.
Big hit there as Cosmo. Oh, excuse me, that was Goose. These blue jerseys are coming for me. Goose able to shake off that big hit as they are now coming around looking to pick up some more points.
Yes.
Cosmo's still stuck in the pack. We're going to take a quick side break here.
Yes, with that side break, let's go ahead and give another shout out to our sponsors. Again, we have 888. They're elevating Derby safety standards with cutting-edge technology. Got to check out 888.
Also, we are actually doing a 888-187 gift card giveaway this weekend. We're teaming up with 888 and 187 Killer Pads for a massive gift card giveaway, a $500 gift card giveaway to be exact. You could win $500 to spend on all your favorites: gear, bags, helmets, and more. Enter to win now at tinyurl.com/y'allstars giveaway. Again, that's tinyurl.com/y'allstars giveaway.
I need to make sure I do that before we leave here today. I
do
mean,
too. I need
it's
some
something.
gear.
I mean, this has been so inspirational. I want to go back and I just want to do more at my home team and just get back on skates. But I know I'm going to need a lot of money for that, because these skaters out here, the athleticism is impressive. I mean, you can see these skaters. They're moving on toe stops, 2 and 3 people at a time when they're blocking and trying to engage in that pack and break through. You know, this is not an easy sport. This is great to watch, even better in person.
Now, at the end of that last jam, we did have a medical call-off. The skater is up in their own power and being checked out by the medics. It seems like they're doing real good. We have Dai Inu facing off against Mush It Real Good, whose birthday was yesterday. Perfect birthday present coming around to play at Y'all Stars. Both these jammers coming out into turn 2. It's going to be a race here, almost everyone there, but it's going to go to Mush It Real Good, picking up lead at jammer status for Indigenous Rising. Dai Inu trapped up here in the Indigenous Rising tripod. Only a few left to beat, though, as that pack starts to bridge a little bit. And I believe we saw a start pass there. No, I'm sorry.
No,
yes, Oy Vey is now the jammer of record for Jewish roller derby.
Oy vey. Let's talk about how Mush It Real Good, coming into the second half, having the highest score on Indigenous Rising and really showing how that happened.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I mean, this is stellar performance. From the outside, taking block after block. Dai's going on a little action right there, saying, you know what?
Blocking from a jammer. I love to see that. Dai Inu showing the importance of, even if you're a jammer, you need to learn how to block, because once you pass that star, your job's not done. Huge hit there on
Hawaiian Blaze. Hawaiian Blaze did that, right?
Yes, Hawaiian Blaze, and it looked like the blocker they hit was Meshuggah. Huge hit, beautiful shake off.
Hawaiian's gonna go and get that pillow mint from the Holiday Inn and Suites, because they are definitely in the penalty box for that one. So with that, we're gonna do an early call off on that jam. That's jam 5, y'all, of our second half. 4 points earned by Indigenous Rising. It's still really anyone's game. We got a little over 12 minutes left. We are going to start this particular jam with the advantage to Jewish Roller Derby, as they're going to have all the blockers and their jammer on the track.
Missing one blocker from Indigenous Rising in the box. However, Indigenous Rising has set themselves in an advantageous position here, maintaining that front pack, as it looks like that is Sonnet Boom from Jewish Roller Derby trying to push that out, able to shake off that last hit at the top of the pack from Small Fry, picking up lead jammer as Nikita is looking for some space to get out here and complete their initial pass as well.
Dream Crusher doing a great job rolling that pack when they were trying to. They didn't make it in time to really stop the jammer, but excellent attempt.
Beautiful run through there at the top of turn 2 from Sonnet Boom, picking up 4 points for Jewish Roller Derby. Excellent work.
We heard the boom all the way from here as they got 4 points on the board. Called it off. Again, strategy. That is what we are here for. We're going to start off this jam. All players have checked out. Room cleaning will start shortly at the penalty box, as everyone is now out and back on the track.
Now, I may be mistaken, but I called the first game today, and looking at the score here from the first and the second game, I'm going to stop to say that Days just ran through that pack, picking up lead jammer very quickly for Jewish Roller Derby.
Again, Days.
Facing off against Karma from Indigenous Rising. Karma also at the top, out now, able to score points on the beautiful 1-foot slide there by Days, making it look so easy.
Look at the blockers. They're just as cute and confused as I was.
Oh, all right.
Did Days just come by again?
Yeah.
Did Days come by? I mean, wow. And it just, I'm an announcer and I'm speechless. I don't feel like I have a job in the future if this continues. I'm going to need Days to help me out here. But yes, 4 points, calling it off. They're trying to make that gap a little slower. They're 29 points and counting. We're going to get there.
Absolutely. But overall, this is a low-scoring game compared to games one, well, not 1 and 2, but the games from earlier today, the first and second games, those had much larger score differentials. So we're seeing here, even though there's a consistent lead difference, that this is a great defensive game from both sides as Goose picks up lead jammer for Indigenous Rising. Muzzle Tough going to the box for a trap cut, making a power jam for Indigenous Rising. The Jewish roller derby really couldn't afford at this point.
Hampton in and Sweet left the light on. Hampton in and Sweet left the light on. Both jammers are running to the penalty box right now.
Jewish roller derby said, bet we'll do a jammer change. Thank you.
Mazel Tov is going to get a nice running start from our Hampton in and Sweet's penalty box. They're going to re-engage into the pack, letting the blockers lay back so that way they can get an advantage. Then blockers are going to come to the inside. They're going to try to make that hole. Muzzle Top goes to the outside, pushed off the track, going to be recycled back. Meanwhile, guess who's taking flight from the penalty box? None other than Goose. We got both jammers now actively engaged into the pack. Let's see how far it goes. It's not going pretty fast. That means those blockers are doing what they need to do.
Everything's staying pretty slow here as we come into turn 3. You're picking up a little bit of speed as it looks like Goose is able to get out and pick up 4 points there.
Yes, they've taken 4 points, and a Mazel Tov comes out of the pack as well with the initial pass for a Jewish roller derby. So both jammers now eligible to earn points, but guess who's back in the pack? Goose is going to the outside, taking that scenic route, trying to get that southern wind to knock them a little bit free, and guess what? They're free with 4 more points on the board for the Indigenous Rising.
Mazel Tov working their way through here, that tripod from Indigenous Rising. They're not quite through yet, but Mazel Tov has been able to pick up some of the points as she has gone through. So she's not going to be held scoreless.
Yes.
Goose able to go through, picking up another 4 points, bringing this to a 12-point jam for Indigenous Rising at this time.
Coltrane is in the back of that pack, just giving hits wherever they can find them right now. I mean, I'm enjoying this. This is awesome.
Absolutely.
12 points earned there by Indigenous Rising, 4 by Jewish roller derby.
And there was that full four from Mazel Tov. She was playing it very smart. She knew she was stuck, and instead she made sure her hips passed each of those other skaters and picked them. You could tell. She was watching and looking. I haven't passed you. Let me get my hips around. All right, I'm going to take my 4 points.
It's impressive. So we're going to get the 9th jam underway. We got Dye and Mush It Real Good. Really, I mean, I'm going to feel like the MVPs right now for both teams for jammers. I mean, both of these jammers have done great and phenomenal.
Excellent work here. Indigenous Rising really slowing down all of Dye's momentum here going into turn 1. An excellent defensive strategy. One of the blockers from Jewish Roller Derby trying to provide any bit of space for Dye so that they'll be able to get out. However, instead, we're going to see a star pass with a great recycle there from Indigenous Rising to recycle that pivot to the back of the pack. They were almost there. They were almost out.
Schindler's Fist has the star now, though. So that is going to be Jewish Roller Derby's attempt. They've now made their initial pass. Mush It Real Good's going to go back into the pack to the outside. They did grab, points were earned. Let's see how many. 2 points earned on that last call, but they did force the call off. So that was an excellent strategy to hand it off to Schindler's Fist, getting that star out of the pack.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, if you don't have the lead, you want to get your star out of the pack. You know, be on the way to get to find the other one. Find the lead jammer, please. So we have a little over 6 minutes left.
A little over 6 minutes left in this 40-minute game, and neither team has crossed the century mark at this time. Huge stopping power there from Indigenous Rising's blocking contingent on Sonnet Boom. Nikita facing off against the tripod of her own here as these skaters are kind of smashing together. Sonnet Boom able to stretch out the pack at the top with just 2 to beat. Quick footwork there to stay in there, come back in bounds after taking that initial hit out. Beautiful relay off there, but stuck on Scara to death. It's your worst nightmare.
Yes, Ruthless was great there. Being aware, making sure that while there was some one-on-one action there was at least somebody trying to make sure the pack wasn't being called.
Absolutely. Nikita is out with lead for Indigenous Rising. Coming back and looking to pick up some points. We are hearing some whistles, waiting to see who they are assessed to. I do see a cut signal, and that is going to be to Sonnet Boom, making a power jam for Indigenous Rising.
We've got a little over a minute left in this jam, and we have heard the boom, and You know who else has heard it? Nikita's heard the boom. And that means that it is time to shine. It's time to put some more points on the board. We might end up in triple digits by the end of this
It
jam.
also looks like that track cut on Sonnet Boom was recalled as a no pass, no penalty. And they are back on the track as we lose Scara to death to the box.
Yes, another Hampton, a late check-in to the Hampton Inn and Suites, but we do have we have an Indigenous Rising player in the penalty box, and we have 4 points on the board, total of 8 so far. Like I said, we're going to get into triple digits, I believe, here with Indigenous Rising.
Announcer's blessing / curse, I guess, because I just said that we hadn't had anything go above. And we are going to take a quick break here as a skater is going to be checked by our medics just to make sure that they're okay.
And in case you didn't catch it, right at the end of this last jam, there was a star pass. Spider Wham ended up taking the star pass for Jewish Roller Derby, although they did not get an opportunity to re-engage into the pack to earn any points. The jam was called off. It looked like 9 points, though, was earned by Indigenous Rising, stopping us right before we got into triple digits. So we got 98 to 50. Again, shout out to our royal sponsors, 187 Killer Pads, 888s, Post Giant, Louisiana Cajun Bayou. Again, them 187 Killer Pads, they are getting their money's worth this weekend. They are being used everywhere.
Absolutely. Between 187 Killer Pads and 888, we are seeing that even though we are having some medical call-offs occur, that our skaters are up on their own power, they're keeping themselves safe. And then also with that, another huge shout out and thank you to our medics being here and the medics who work at any derby game. We can't do this without you. You are the ones who make sure we walk away at the end of the day.
And not only do we want to walk away, we want to dance away because we are here for Mardi Gras because it is the Y'all Stars. And with the Y'all Stars, we also have cruise sponsors. So cruise sponsors, want to give a shout out to you. RES Contractors, Collective Sports, Sacred Roller Skate Supplies, Crash Course, Synergy, Lamar Advertising, Symmetry Jewelers and Designs, AmeriHealth, Credits in Louisiana, and Bont. We do want to give you a shout out. Thank you for being a cruise sponsor. You know, Mardi Gras is in full effect on here. There's so much king cake, I think I'm sweating icing.
Laissez le bon temps rouler. And as we come in, and you're coming out of the Mardi Gras season, which is going to be a little bit now, make sure you sign up for your Crash Course. Crash Course helps roller derby athletes increase strength, conquer self-doubt, and create habits of high performers to become all-stars and MVPs on the track and in life. Want to make 2-minute jams feel easy? Visit ChristyCrash.com to learn more. Life is a contact sport. Win. We will see that skater up of their own power, heading over to the medics just to make sure that they are okay and able to return to their bench. So we will soon be coming back to roller derby. It does look like we are still in an officials timeout for the moment.
Yeah, I know viewers were watching what I'm watching. Yep, timeout's going to be called by our Jewish roller derby team. We're going to take another little timeout there. With that timeout, guess what? That means we get to tell you more about the companies, businesses, and local sponsors and vendors out here making this tournament possible. So let's talk about Rydell because we want to step into action with our Rydell roller skates where passion meets performance. They're trusted by skaters for generations. Rydell combines classic craftsmanship with cutting-edge design. So discover your perfect pair now at roller at rydellskates.com. Rydell, built for derby, made for you.
And what better to pair with your new skates than checking out the deep cover helmet from 888. Low profile, the best fit options, and the most certifications. 888, we've got you covered.
And then once you find a friend that has all that, make sure you check out Poster Giant because they have the ability to make yourself amazing advertisement. If you need to get your word up to the next, if you need to get your word out and you need to make it bigger for your next events, you need to check them out. Visit postergiant.net today. Let them take your promotions to the next level. And that's where we're at. We are at the next level roller derby. We have people playing from all over the world. I mean, they are here. This is just a great place to be. And so we're about to get our 11th jam underway. We're a little under 5 minutes left in the second half. Indigenous Rising, Jewish Roller Derby, they have been out here. They've been playing phenomenal. We have a score of 98 to 50. It's still really anyone's game.
Absolutely. And we are going to see a slight pack advantage here for Jewish Roller Derby as Scara to the Death has been iced in the box since that last jam. Shouldn't have been naughty, Scara. I can say that. She's my friend. As we're off,
She's going to scare me to death to say that. I'm not going to say
I have to play, or I may be playing her later this weekend, and I'm not looking forward to it. On the line, we have Days for Jewish Roller Derby picking up lead jammer. Not as easily as we have seen in previous jams, but out and with lead. As we have Fuzzkill on the line for Indigenous Rising, successfully passing the star to Scara to death.
You saw that at home.
This is what I don't want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see if I'm on the track. I love to see it right now. Scara to Death showing why you should be scared out and eligible score points as Days is still looking to pick up a few points.
Yes, that was beautiful.
And I saw the call to run it I'm not saying it was a mistake, but I would not let Skara out.
Yes.
I would have iced that.
Skara's going through the pack. They're already past 2. Oh, look at that apex attempt with a little 180 spin back to the knees. Those 187s getting their workout. Meanwhile,
Skara out with 4 points for
Absolutely.
Indigenous roller derby. Big smile on her face.
yes, it's almost as if she heard you talking.
She told me I had to be nice to her, but I thought I was in-house announcing, so she doesn't know I could be mean if I wanted to.
Yes. And look at this. Look at the bridge work. Look at the bridge work right here. This is awareness. This is what we practice for. I mean, and this is also where athleticism comes in. This is when you need to be at the gym, working on those shoulder hits, working on that blocking, working on those toe stops and positioning, so you can stop those moments when you have a jammer that powerful that's going to push you to your limits and make those toe stops really work.
It looks like Jewish roller derby is deciding to try and risk some of the clock time left to go ahead and make up that point differential as Indigenous Rising crosses over the century mark here, bringing the score to 106 Indigenous Rising, 57 Jewish roller derby with under 3 minutes left in this game. And even though there's about a 50-point differential, I can guarantee you the skaters here are going to tell you it didn't feel like that.
I know at least 2 jammers on Jewish roller derby that can make that point advantage in that amount of time right now.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Goose is out with lead jammer for Indigenous Rising. Spider Wham. I think this is the first time we have seen the star on Spider this
They
game.
did. Well, no, they took a star.
They took a pass.
Yeah, they took a
So,
star pass. But I feel
starting
this
behind
is
the
yes,
line.
this is the first time they're actually coming off the line at the whistle.
Goose able to shake off a hit there in that turn 2-3 area, quickly picking up 4 points for Indigenous Rising. A Spider Wham is still looking for some space here, being run back.
Would you say that was shaking a tail feather? Is that too much?
You can't see this at home, but my forehead is firmly planted on the table right now.
So Goose, again, we're going. This is what the scenario we just had this last jam. I mean, Jewish roller derby, they're great with the bridge work, but again, I don't know what's stopping that last blocker. But Goose has figured it out.
Absolutely. Just
Goose
as
has.
we see a pass from Jewish roller derby to Schindler's Fist, out eligible to go get some points for Jewish roller derby here. As Goose comes through, I believe they are only needing 1 more point to make this another 4-point pass. They may actually have it at this point. Deciding to go ahead and run it, see if they can get a couple more points here. Honestly, a great move. When you're this far in the lead and there's only a few minutes left in the game, and your jammers aren't tired, go ahead and run it. Run that clock down if you're in the lead.
That's what you need to do. And I want to say that Dream Crusher, I have a crush on Dream Crusher. The blocking that is being done.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just, wow.
It's crushing the dreams of jammers.
It's crushing the dreams and making the dreams of us watchers. So we're about to go ahead. This is going to be Lucky 13th Jam. This could be our final jam of this game. And we're going to get started with Mazel Tov and Mush It Real Good. Again, Mush It Real Good came into the second half, high scorer for a jam, and we see why.
And out with
We
lead.
see why.
Mush It Real Good, celebrating their birthday absolutely correctly as they had their age turning event yesterday. That
Yes.
is how I'm now referring to birthdays, as age turning events. I like that. Mazel Tov here, still looking for some space caught up on the blockers from Indigenous Rising. Some beautiful tripod work. They're getting some offense from one of their
Mazel
friends. That's Bush Belt Bruiser.
And Smackajawea. Smackajawea is not going to make that easy.
Absolutely. Nice recycling there as Mush It Real Good comes around looking for some more points.
We got 10 seconds in the game, and as you hear, the crowd is up. The crowd is loud.
On the track side here that you can't see, we have both teams standing and cheering and screaming and holding
This is
arms
what gives
and
me
shoulders.
goosebumps. This gives me goosebumps. I mean, this is what roller derby's about.
That last jam is going to have ended with 8 points for Indigenous Rising, 2 for Jewish Roller Derby, bringing our unofficial score 126 Indigenous Rising, 62 Jewish Roller Derby. We're going to wait for that swooping whistle to make it official. Excellent, excellent athleticism from all of the skaters here.
Yes, and also, keep in mind, we want to give a shout out. Skaters, coaches, referees, NSOs, announcers, videographers, photographers, medics, volunteers, vendors, entertainers, sponsors, after-party hosts, and event organizers. It's not possible without people like you. So thank you so much for your time this weekend.
And that roll does mean this is an official score. Our winners for this game will be Indigenous Rising with 126 points up against Jewish Roller Derby 62.
Wonderful game. It's been a pleasure, Huck. This is Squirrel Lock Homes, y'all. I have had a pleasure of streaming, watching this from the television, kind of talking to you in your ear. I appreciate you viewers out there letting me do this. We got another game coming up for you.
Looks
Who
like
do
we're
we
going to
have?
have Team Louisiana facing off against.
Who lost with the last
Kansas?
game? The last game yesterday. Who was that?
Yeah, so it's going to be Kansas. So Kansas played Black Diaspora last night, I believe,
that's
and they
right.
did end up losing. So it's going to be Louisiana versus Team Kansas. Kansas being a great showing here. I've watched Kansas for several years. I played against them. I used to be a Team Louisiana skater before I moved to Texas, and I will say this is the strongest I've ever seen Team Kansas. I'm excited to see what they do with this. Louisiana-Kansas is a tried and true, like, not grudge match because we love them, but it's usually always a great game with this face-off.
I'm excited. So this is my first time seeing Team Kansas, and I've been thoroughly impressed the entire time. Every game, but I honestly can probably say that about every team I've watched so far. And even the one that's on the bottom of the bracket, I'm all like, yes, you play on a level that I've just never seen. So it's just been great. It's been great. And again, thank you so much, Huck. It's been fantastic.
Thank you. Coming up next, you guys will be serenaded with the voices of PR Mageddon and Johnny. So be ready for that and enjoy that. Have a great day, folks.
Dada and Skara is MVP.
Hi folks, Tui Line here, and I'm here to ask you if your helmet is cooked. Whether you're on the derby track or at the skate park, your helmet has one job: to protect you. So let's check out your helmet together and find out if it's still doing its job. Look for the following signs to determine if the EPS foam in your helmet has deteriorated. 1. Physical cracks or deformations. 2. Soft spots. 3. Discoloration. 4. Separation from the shell. 5. Age. Helmets should be replaced every 3 years depending upon usage, even if they appear to be in good condition. 6. Unusual odors. Let's move on to the outer shell and consider your previous impacts. If the helmet has been involved in a significant impact, the EPS foam could be compromised even if no visible damage is apparent. If the strap adjusters, clip, or straps are compromised, your helmet placement might be compromised if you take a fall. Last but not least, if your helmet doesn't fit you properly, it's not going to do its job when you need it most. Your helmet should sit about 1 finger width above your eyebrows and stay put when you're moving around or shaking your head. Visit 888.com to find out about our cutting-edge helmet technology and designs. The most certifications, the latest technology, the best fit. We've got you covered.